Bright Duty. Every student matters.
So now we are going to discuss about the second part of this unit 1, that is problems of communalism, regionalism and casteism. These are the three major terms that we need to understand before proceeding, and why we are taking it as a problem, that also we need to discuss. Communalism, regionalism, casteism and linguism also are the main challenges to national integration or national unity if we talk about, because these are the these three terms or the four terms that we have discussed here are the negative one, which are giving us the negative feeling, and that is why these are the threat or the challenge to national unity or the national integration. They indicate primary loyalty to one's religious community, geographic region, caste or language, where the people are loyal to their particular religious community, particular religion from they belongs to, or particular caste or the language they are speaking. They are opposed to national integration, and obviously these feelings are threat or opposed to national integration. Why? Because it is good. If you have feeling of pride or loyalty for your community or for your particular region or your caste or language, so these are the good points. But when you are only talking about your community, or you just want the development of your own community, your own group, you have the feelings of hatred or jealousy for the other community, you don't want to provide them any opportunity, you don't want to give them any chance, being that they are the part of your country only, they are the part of your society. So if these kind of feelings we have, definitely it is going to create somewhere the differences will be created. And if one time if we are talking about unity in our nation, and at the same time if these problems are occurring, the problems related to communalism, regionalism, casteism, so these will create the differences among the people, and these differences ultimately will be the threat or challenge to our national integration, which can put the question mark on our unity. It is a feeling that transcends or goes beyond narrow loyalties. Why we are taking it as the narrow loyalties? Reason being, because see, nothing should be more important than the nation. But when you are confined, when you are restricted towards your community or particular religion or particular region, so that is not good. That should be considered. It is good if you are talking about the development of your own community or own area, but that should not come above the nation. Nation should always be first. After that the other factors can be there, and these are the common things that can prevail in any of the society. These differences can be there, but when these are taking more priority, if we talk about, or these are getting more importance in any of the society, so ultimately it is creating the problem for unity of that nation. Now we are going to start with the meaning of communalism. We will talk about the different factors responsible for that. So communalism means placing one's own community above other communities and even above the nation. That's why it is the negative one. It is not good when you are talking about your own community as a superior one, when you are talking about that it is above the nation. So that is not the correct way to look at your community, talking about the development or the success of your community while you are living in the society. It is based on fundamentalism and fantasism, means while here you only talking about the basic development of your own community, when you are, because this fundamentalism what will create, it will create the division, it is going to create the differences among the society. And fantasism also, when you are talking about, when you are dreaming to just for the development of your own community, so that is also the negative one. These feelings are also, these are the part of this communalism, and these are the negative feelings. Fundamental is the belief that one's own religion is true and superior to others. When you think that your own community or your religion is the only one which is correct. It is good that if you appreciate your religion, if you have pride for your religion or your community, but it should not create the feeling of hatred or jealousy for others. So, but here what we are talking about, when you have believed that your own religion is the only one which is true or superior to others, this feelings of egoism is going to create the differences. Fundamentalism and fanaticism are promoted by vested interest to harm or even destroy other religious communities. And if these kinds of feelings, if we talk about, are prevailing in our society, if they are getting these kind of feelings are getting support in our society, it means we all are going to get destroyed. It means further or in future we are not going to talk about the unity, because these sort of feelings will create differences which can lead to conflicts or the wars, which can lead to conflicts among the different communities. And many of the example you might have seen somewhere. If we talk about, if these feeling of communalism are there, where you are just talking about the superiority of your, or the giving preference to your own community, what will happen? Ultimately, the other communities or other groups, if we talk about those who are prevailing in the, or those who are existing in the society, the conflict between your group and the other group that, which are existing, will start fighting with each other, and which will be a threat, which is going to be a danger for our unity of a nation. Communalism in India is a threat to national integration. Here in India, it is a threat to national integration, because we, in spite of having these much differences, we are trying to accommodate these changes. We are trying to deal with the diversity which is prevailing in our country. And if this communalism is going to be there, it will be a threat, it will be a danger to the national unity or the national integration, because it will lead to hatred, it will promote violence and destruction of life as well as property. When the conflicts will start, definitely the result is going to be that the hatred, the feeling of hatred, the feelings of jealousy will be there, and it will promote violence also. The fights will start. Our country has already witnessed several instances or the examples of the communal riots. If we talk about widespread communal riots between Hindus and Muslims, it took place in around 1946 to 1947 at the time of the partition of the country. Second was, there was Hindu-Sikh riots in 1984 after the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi at the time. Then there was a wave of communal riot in 1992 after the demolition of the Babri Mosque, and the recent, that was in 2002 in Gujarat, have tarnished our secular image before the world community, because at one time we are talking about that India is a secular country, it does not have a single religion, it gives importance to all the religions, but somewhere based on these differences on religion, these communities are fighting with each other. All these are the examples which are really a threat for unity of our nation, which are creating the violence among the different communities, which are creating the feelings of jealousy or hatred. So hopefully these are clear to each and everyone, that what is the meaning of communalism, and how we have seen the different example based on that communalism, and how it is going to be a threat to our nation. The second we are going to discuss is regionalism. Regionalism means related to a particular region. Somewhere it might be giving you the idea that what it is going to be. A region is if we talk about simply a region, it is a territorial area with a great amount of homogeneity on the basis of which it can be distinguished from the other areas. For example, the linguistic states were formed, means the people living in that particular area, they were speaking the same language. So that's why they were created separately from the other areas. So a region, or if we are talking about a region, it is a terrestrial area which is different from other based on different factors. Such homogeneity if we talk about which we can found in these territorial areas, may be geographic, for example based on climate, flora and fauna. If we talk about north part of India, particular states, if it, for example if we are taking Jammu and Kashmir, so we can see that based on the climate they are different from the other parts of the other states of the India. The Jammu and Kashmir we can say is different from the other southern states of India based on their climate. Same way these kind of discrimination can be seen, or these kind of diversity can be seen on the basis of flora and fauna also. On the basis of economic factor, if we talk about such as wheat growing area or mining area, there also we can say that northern plains, basically if we talk about Punjab, Haryana, these are the states which will be taken as wheat growing areas. And if we talk about Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, these are the mining areas. So that's why these differences has been created here. Cultural factor based on the languages, the different languages in south, if we talk about, they are speaking different language in Tamil Nadu, and if we talk about Maharashtra, they are speaking their own different language. So these variations are very well visible. Regionalism, now we have understood the meaning of region and what kind of factors are there which are creating the differences and helping to create the different states based on different factors. Now we are talking about the term regionalism. It is a feeling of pride and loyalty among people who inhabited or belong to a particular region. When we are reading it, it's giving us a positive feeling that it's good when you are having pride or loyalty to your own area or your own state. But if it is going beyond that, then only it is going to create the problem for our nation. Reason being, because if this feeling are just again taking as that your region is more superior, is the only superior region than as compared to the other countries. For example, if Punjab is having that pride that we are the only state who are able to grow that much wheats and other crops, so that feeling is going to be bad for development of the country, and it will not remain as the united India. Feelings of regionalism emerge when people feel their economic interests are threatened, and sometimes when people started having the feeling of regionalism, when they think that their economic interests are under danger, some other people from the different other states are trying to occupy or trying to get the opportunities in their state. For example, you must be knowing the example of Maharashtra, where the people from Bihar, they appeared for some exam and they were beaten up by political units. So these are some of the examples which are creating problem when you don't want to give the chance or you don't want to give the opportunity to other people, because we are the part of a single nation, and at that time if you will create the differences, so ultimately that will lead to differences among the people, that will lead to threat to our national integration or the national unity. Here we can see that regionalism is a threat to national integration because it promotes regional loyalties together with a dislike and even hatred of others. So regionalism is also a threat to national unity because it is talking about regional loyalty. It is not talking about the loyalty to our nation. It is talking about the development, the loyalty to their particular region from where an individual belongs to, and even creating the feeling of dislike as well as hatred for others. When other people are from different areas are coming to their region, they are not having they are having the feelings of hatred or jealousy for them. Here if we talk about regionalism favors the theory of sons of soil for employment. According to this theory, what is the meaning? That those who have taken birth in that particular area or those who are the native of that particular area, they should only get the employment opportunity in that particular region. So which is not the correct criteria for selecting an individual for job. Here equal and preference should be, or equal opportunity should be given to all, and those who are more capable, they should get the job instead of just having the feelings of regionalism and trying to get the advantage of that. Because if you are restricting your area, you are not allowing other people to be the part of your region, you don't want them to come to your area and then get the job there, then definitely you would also not be allowed to go to other area, and the same sort of reaction is going to be there with you. So we need to understand that it is a mutual understanding. If we are living in a country, we should not have these feelings. Obviously we should have the feeling of pride, but it should not turn into the negative way. It should not be above the nation, because national unity or the national integration must be the most important one, and rest of the factor can be considered later. In November 2000, if we talk about, there were 3 new states, namely Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, formerly known as Uttaranchal, and Jharkhand were created. In the state of Andhra Pradesh, if we talk about, the people of Telangana demanded, and a new Telangana state was created in 2014. And this was just because of the feelings of regionalism. It started dividing the country, and in this way, if all will start demanding like this, so the country will not be integrated. It will not remain integrated. The divisions will start, the differences, the conflicts will start. In the state of UP, we talk about demand for the creation of Harit Pradesh and Purvachar are also being raised. In the state of Maharashtra, there is a strong demand for the creation of a new Vidarbha state. So, on the demand, the different states were created, and somewhere still the demands are arising. So, here we can see that how the political power can play an important role, and how they are going to deal with such kind of, problems or demands. Every time if they are going to accept that, then the division of the country is definitely going to take place. But that is not the solution. If you want to keep your country united and integrated one, we need to take out the solution instead of just for our personal benefit dividing the nation. Most of the time you might have seen the political power, those who are in political power or these political leaders, for their own interest, just for the vote bank, they are sometimes trying to create these differences, because ultimately they are going to get the advantage over that. They are helping or supporting those people, those who are demanding for different states, and ultimately because they know if they are under their power, if they are going to get the separate state, their vote bank will be in their favor. But again, for the long term, if we talk about, that is not the good for our nation. For time being, it will be good for that particular political power, but not for the nation. The third, we are going to talk about the challenges related to casteism. Casteism is caste mindedness and caste consciousness. When you are confined within your own caste group, when you are very caste conscious. Casteism aims at securing the loyalty of all those who belong to a particular caste in order to strengthen their caste identity and solidarity. So, when you have loyalty to your particular caste, at that time, this is the feeling when you are taking your caste above the nation, and this is the feeling of, this is the negative feeling. Somewhere we can see that education makes people liberal, bringing freedom in their thoughts, making them broad-minded, rational and democratic also. Educated people, if we talk, they are believed to be less conservative, and educated people are believed to be less conservative and superstitious, because due to education they are not bothered about that from which particular caste they belongs to. If we talk about these differences, the differences based on casteism are mainly visible in rural area, and it was thought that with the passage of time, with the advanced education system, these differences are going to be removed fully from the urban centers. In rural area, if we talk about what is happening, still the people are following the caste system, and the people, those who belong to low caste, they are not even allowed to, still in many of the villages or many of the places, they are not allowed to enter the main village, they are living on the outskirts. And as the thought was there that with the passage of the time or with the modern time, the differences among the caste group due to the education system and all are going to be removed, but that is not the case. Still we can see many of the examples are there which are still prevailing in our country, in urban centers or the urban areas, where the people are still concerned about their caste, and somewhere the political leaders are the one which are creating these feelings among them just for their vote bank. Today we can see that every caste want to organize itself mainly to cater to the educational, medical, religious needs of their member. So when we are talking about in modern time, the differences were supposed to be abolished. These are becoming more concerned, because here now the different caste group, particular caste group, they want different facilities like educational, medical, religious facilities for their particular group. Caste has become an inseparable aspect of our politics also, that we have discussed, that how these politicians are trying to get advantage of that caste system. Through that, they know very well that if they are going to provide their support to particular caste group, the vote bank will be in their favor, which is not good. For time being, if we talk about for that particular political group, it is going to be beneficial, but it is not good for the nation, because at that time when you are talking about the development or the success of that caste group, when you are trying to influence them by giving the different policies, when you are trying to influence them by providing them the opportunity for better job, for better education system, better facilities, so somewhere you are neglecting the other caste group, which is not good when you are talking about development of single caste. Because if we are living in the society, what should be there? We should talk about the development of the whole nation. It should not be the development of a particular region, it should not be the development of the particular community or linguistic group. We should take it as a whole nation, and then only we should go for the development here. Sometime you might have seen that elections are also fought on the basis of caste. The particular candidate standing from, or if we talk about an election, the particular candidate, the one who is representing that particular area will be belonging to that particular caste group, the majority of the people presenting or living in that particular area. So somewhere we can see the impacts of this caste system or the casteism in our politics, and that's why we have called it as a inseparable, because now it is quite difficult to remove these two, caste and political, these two things like caste and politics, away from each other. And Mahatma Gandhi also, if we talk about, he also mentioned this thing, that caste and politics are two things which are inseparable, because he also got the idea that how during that time also, before independence if we talk about, and after independence also, that how caste was, the particular caste sentiments were influenced just to get the political advantage. So, whether in election if we talk about, whether it is selection of the candidates, voting analysis, selection of legislative, selection of candidates, voting analysis, selection of legislative leaders, distribution of ministerial portfolio, etc. These all are based on caste nowadays. Means more preference is given to caste instead of taking it as a whole nation, instead of talking about the development of all. The Constitution of India, if we talk about, has made various provisions also to protect the interest of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, because if we talk about the general caste or the high class people, the high caste group people, they never want to give equal opportunity to these low caste. So just for their protection, the provision has been made in our constitution, and equal importance and the equal opportunities has been given to these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and that's why their seats are also reserved. Here if we talk about in political scenario, and the seats are reserved for these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The non-Brahmin caste today are getting themselves more and more organized, and the Brahmins are the one, if we on broader sense, if we talk about, it can be taken as two, the Brahmin and the non-Brahmins. The Brahmins, those who belong to high class, they used to be the more educated and more rich as compared to others. The other non-Brahmins are getting themselves more and more organized. They also want the development and the growth within their caste group. They are demanding for many things, and here we can see the government has started the reservation policy also in the favor of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people, which was already mentioned in, and this was initiative started by B.R. Ambedkar, who asked for the reservation of these groups. Each caste, if we talk about, looks at the other with suspicion, because when you are talking about this casteism, this is giving you it is the feeling of pride and loyalty to a particular caste, and when you are having that feelings with you, then ultimately you are not going to have the good feelings for other. You would be having the feeling of suspicion, contempt and jealousy, and finds it challenging and a competitor. Whenever the another caste group is there in front of you, we are, because of these feeling of casteism, we are going to find them our competitor, the one who is going to challenge us, the one who is going to take away the opportunities from us. But if in a society we are going to talk about these and we are going to consider all these factors important, then ultimately it is not good for the unity of our nation. Today, if we talk about caste organizations are increasing and making every attempt to obtain the loyalty of their members and to strengthen their caste identity and solidarity. So here we can see that how different in spite of modern education system, as it was thought that these differences are going to be removed, the caste organizations are coming into existence, and there they are trying to obtain the loyalty of their members, where they are trying to influence the mind of these particular caste group people just for their benefit. Some such example can be cited that caste organizations are growing. Caste organization, they run their own paper, bulletin, periodicals and monthlies even. They are making the attempts to increase the caste integration through the different meetings and all. Occupational caste are also making determined efforts just to talk about the development of their particular caste group, providing them all the opportunities, educational facilities, medical facilities and the other. Caste organization, they collect regular subscriptions from the members, arrange annual conferences, organize agitations and protest meetings also against the government policies if they are to damage caste interest. So politically also they are very active, we can say, and what they are doing, they have made their own separate groups where they are interacting with each other, they are doing the discussion, they are putting pressure on government time to time just so that they can listen to their demands, and somewhere they are creating damage to, whenever they think that they are going to get damaged by the government policies and all, so they are creating or they are doing such conferences and meetings and putting pressure over the governments. So here we can see that we have discussed communalism, regionalism and casteism. These three are the main terms which are actually the challenges to which are really the challenges to India's unity, because if these are going to be prevailed here, if these are going to be exist in our society, then definitely it will emerge as a threat to our nation. These are going to emerge as threat to our nation's unity, where at the one hand we are talking about all the factors of unity, these are which are helping us to create the national integration and unity here, but on the other hand, if these challenges will prevail, then definitely it is going to be dangerous for our country.